Welcome to Grit and Legacy, the Sackett Sagas. Real stories from real Americans. The grit, the struggles, the triumphs, and the legacies that built them, and the ones that will build you. Today, I'm honored to sit down at Rusty Wheel Ranch with my friend Fernando Nava, a true rancher who built everything you see here from bare dirt and pure determination. This is Fernando's story. The early mornings, the heartbreaking setbacks, the family that kept him going, and the legacy he's carving into the Arizona soil so the next generation can stand taller. Get ready to feel what real Western grit looks like.
Hey Fernando, how's it going?
Good, and yourself?
Doing pretty good. Glad to be here with you today.
Glad you guys made it.
Yeah. All right, well, Fernando, let's start off at the beginning. Where were you born and raised, and what are some of the earliest memories that first pulled your heart toward the ranching life?
So I was born and raised in Mexico, little town in Zacatecas, which is literally in the very heart of Mexico. Like if you were to drop a pin, it's right in the heart. So cattle country, horse country. So I grew up around the ranch life. My grandpa, he used to run cattle in Wyoming back in the 40s and 50s. So just as a ranch hand, and then he moved to Mexico and got married there and everything. And then, so he started his own little ranch with his sons. So I grew up on it. My dad and all his brothers were bull riders in the 80s. So again, for me, that was just from my background, right? So I got to see a lot of different worlds and aspects on the ranching world. Again, different than out here, the Western United States scenario, since Mexico has their own culture. But some of it transfers, right? Like the lifestyle and the heartaches and everything like that transfers pretty well. So I guess one of the biggest memories was my dad he had 300 head of sheep. So he did wool and sheep. We also had dairy cows and horses, but for the most part, our bread and butter was sheep. So one of the biggest thing, it was, I remember I was just at home and my dad just comes on his horse in the middle of the night and it's just pitch black and he's just soaked wet. He has 2 dead sheep on his saddle and it was like a phenomenon storm, just hell. Like it's, lots of hell. And then I think it ended up racing in feet. It was like maybe 3 feet of hell, just out of nowhere in the mountains. And I remember him getting to my grandpa. He's like, hey, all the sheep are out there. Like, let's go get them. Or was it going to freeze to death? So the whole night they were just going back and forth. And I remember, I had to been like 5 years old. And that was just like, I want to do that. Like, that to me was adventure, right? So it's like, I wanted to be on the saddle with them, but I was too little to do it. And ever since then, I was like, I guess that's what sparked my interest in ranching.
Yeah. Well, and you definitely grew up with it too. I mean, just your dad, your uncles.
Oh,
and, yeah. So you're really...
Yeah, to this point, my uncles are still doing it. We got 40 horses out there. So they do a lot of still pretty much what we were doing, just a little more modernized. But yeah, they raise horses now, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. Was ranching, well, you kind of answered this question. Did ranching run in your family? Walk us through kind of your personal journey of getting to where we're at today, or maybe go back into just kind of like, because you kind of grew up with that, and then walk me through the rest of your life, like, growing up, because I mean, you're a native out here in, Florence, Arizona, went to Florence High School, so kind of walk through kind of getting up to the part to starting Rusty Wheel Ranch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So again, I grew up as a kid through the 90s, and then we moved here in 2000. So we kind of have to give up that lifestyle just to have just more security in a sense. So for the longest time, my dad and myself, and we just didn't do any of the ranching lifestyle. And he tried to, like, hey, let's go to local rodeos. Let's sign you up on little events for kids and stuff like that, teenagers. And as anybody knows, when you're a teenager, you kind of want to go against the grain. So I did not want anything to do with ranching, no horses, nothing. I was mostly on dirt bikes, anything that was fast, dirt bikes, cars, trucks, and Harleys. I got into Harleys through my early 20s, big into Harleys. So that was mostly what I did for the longest time. And then as everybody knows, as you get older, you kind of start getting that missed feeling of your old ways and family and the way you were and grew up. So with that being said, sooner or later, like the Harley thing wasn't enough for me. I mean, I needed something different, a new adventure again. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, I miss something. Like I'm missing something. I want to build something with my hands. I want to build something that's gonna stand for a while and give me a new challenge. So then at that same time, again, so my dad passed away. So I was like, oh, well, the best way to do it is like live through that, right? So
When did your dad pass away?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, just about 2 years ago. Okay. But he was sick, so as far as he knows, this doesn't even exist, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I was like, all right. So I grew up with horses. I know cattle. I know sheep. So let's get back on that, you know. And then I ended up buying land here, as you know. Ended up buying land, and it was just raw. And again, a lot of the knowledge was there, but not quite. So I had to start from scratch. Because again, I was just a boy, a kid when we were doing it, like Monday through Friday type of deal, or Monday through Sunday. So it was just a lot of this that you see here, I had to reteach myself. So it's been, I want to say it's definitely been a learning curve, you know. So, but it's exciting. So that's what kind of triggered the whole, let's build something here in Arizona and start from scratch again.
Yeah, it's amazing. There had to be a defining moment, a day, a conversation, or just a season in your life when you knew you had to own and build your own ranch. What was happening in your world at that time? And, you know, what did that fire in your belly look like? I know you talked about it a little bit. You're kind of looking for the next adventure, but was there like a specific moment that you were...
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. No, absolutely. So my background, just like work-wise, like my 9 to 5, we do a lot of construction. I grew up pretty much hands-on construction my whole life. Every job since right out of high school to today, it's just been construction or labor-intensive work. So we were on the project early, I want to say 2021, and again, just putting some insane hours, like insane hours. Even though the work was local, I barely got to be home on my own bed, even though home was 30-minute drive. It's just because of how busy we were just with the project itself. So after a while, I think I did it for 2 years on the same project. It's a long project. Again, it just became routine. And I'm like, okay, I'm working this hard, but what's the goal? What's the end goal? Like, why am I working so hard for? Like, I have a family, I have a house. Sure, the bills are paid, but it's like, at the end of the day, what's it gonna be like? You're busting your ass for this. And yeah, and I guess that's when I was like, all right, I gotta buy land. Like, I gotta buy land. I want it close enough from home that I could still come back every day and work it, and enough that I'm not landlocked, with other people, neighbors that I was like, oh, you can't touch, that's my post, you know. So I wanted more freedom with the land, which means that it's doable, but it also comes with, it's raw. There's nothing, there's no water, there's no power, it's literally just raw desert. So I kind of understood the balance on that. I was like, yeah, I could go and pay a little extra and be set. I was like, but at the same time, I was like, if I want to start from scratch, I want to start from scratch, you know, and learn everything as I go, like I mentioned earlier. So found this little spot in the middle of nowhere in Arizona, Florence, thankfully, that kind of fit all that criteria. And little by little, I started working towards it, started clearing the land, got tractors, equipment. And again, it was just a big learning curve for me to just even get to that stage, right? But with that being said, that was my goal. Like, okay, now working 12 plus hours in construction, it's transferring to this. And I'm seeing this now, right? So I was like, the payout is immense. Like, the payout to me was like, yep, this is worth it, and I'm gonna keep doing it, right? So that was mostly how I started.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how as humanity, we grew so much, technologically advanced, that we can have these nice homes and these creature comforts and everything. But I feel like just kind of observing even what you're talking about is that I feel like, especially among us men, we're starting to feel this spiritual pull to come back to like our roots, and because we're missing those that hard work and those trials and those tribulations. And I think that's what's really behind. It's not just because it's cool. It's not just because it's Yellowstone. It's really getting out here and being raw. I mean, we're, off camera, we got a couple chickens, kind of, up next to us, just kind of clucking away. And it's just that feeling of freedom out here that, as much as we've grown as a civilization, we're really not, we've been missing out on.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, can you kind of go back and just kind of explain what it was like when you first bought this piece of property, and like, coming here now, there's a lot here, and we'll kind of go through and see, a bit of that today. But, this isn't just, something that was handed down to you, or that you bought it and you just started kind of doing things here. I mean, this was literally the desert, like as untouched land as you can get, other than the creatures that, lived here, scorpions and mountain lions and javelina. Like, kind of go through the process of like day one when you got to the deed to this place of land, and kind of what you did along the way.
Yeah, no, and when I first got the property, it was, like I said, it was just literally it was just a lot on the map. There was nothing. There was just your property lines, and there was not fence, no nothing. So when I got here, and I still recall it pretty well, I was with my dog, came in here, and I sat on literally right now, technically where we're standing at is a little slight hill, just higher than most of the other areas. And I just remember it was in the evening, and I kind of just looked out, and it was just amazing, just open land, and it was kind of like a blank canvas to do pretty much anything I wanted. And the idea was never to like, oh, I want to build a cattle ranch, I want to have horses. I just wanted a place so I could come here and just relax and enjoy and learn a new skill. Now, and by that, like I just didn't have a goal in a sense, but I just wanted to make something here that I enjoy and kind of gave me that freedom and that reward for working hard. And of course, little by little, I'm like, well, I built this. I cleared this land. This would be a good spot for a corral. This will be a good spot for a chicken coop. Like now I was like, well, over there, I don't know what to do there. Man, that's actually perfect for a stall or a round pen for horses. And little by little I started graduating to more and more and more and more. And again, it's nothing fancy by all means. It's not endless land like that you can see as far as you want on the horizon, but it's enough for me to work and keep growing and bring animals in here and just learn. That's to me, that's the biggest thing. Just learn as I go. Yeah.
Can you tell us the story about how you started out with your little riding lawnmower?
Oh yeah, and I have like the reason we are here today is just because of this crazy new world with everybody has a phone and we're recording and everything, right? But when I was doing it, that wasn't even an afterthought. It wasn't even nothing. It was just I just wanted to get going, and I didn't have the equipment, I didn't have the tractors, anything. And I remember just going on Craigslist and seeing this old lawnmower tractor, like a Craftsman 20-horse lawnmower tractor. And I'm like, man, that is perfect. That is perfect for me to start clearing land. So I brought it in here, and that was the first piece of equipment here. And I didn't know what I was doing. Again, trying to move rocks and a lot of dirt with a tiny little tractor is not gonna work. But it gave me, it sparked a life in me. Like, it's like, oh man, this is awesome. Like the amount, like there was a video somewhere that I'm holding a beer and I'm just on my little tractor and I'm dragging this big old stump across the desert just to clear it, and I'm just having such a good time. And I was like, man, it's refreshing, So everything that you see here and we'll show, it started with one lawnmower tractor here. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then you eventually upgraded to.
Oh, of course. And now, I got I fluctuate on tractors. I like tinkering with things like mechanically. I guess that's the motorcycle part of me, like my background. If it has an engine and wheels, I like it, you know, and then I'm gonna try to figure it out, especially older equipment. And I couldn't afford no high-end tractor, so I had to start with the handy-downs or broke-down tractors and start working from there. So I fluctuate through a lot of tractors here through I guess in the past years here on Rusty Wheel. And again, it's the biggest thing is learning how to work with them and just work with what you have. Like that's all I could afford at the time. That's what I had, so I had to make it work. So, but yeah, now I got some. I think they're decent tractors for myself for what I need them. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you have a pretty successful Instagram page now, and just getting more and more, you know, popular every day. How did that start off? What was the kind of inspiration to even get that started?
Well, again, there's so much stories and things that happened here for like a whole year and a half before I even decided to record it or even document it for the world to see or anybody. But my wife has an uncle and he's 80 years old and he kind of grew up as I did. So he's like, Fernando, how's the ranch? How's everything? So I will send him videos, you know, and then I will send him just videos of me doing something with the tractor, something with the chickens, the trucks. And again, he was 80 years old and he just loved it. He loved it so much and he started showing his friends. He's like, hey, so-and-so likes it. So-and-so, what they keep asking me what the next thing you're doing at the ranch. So then that's when I'm like, you know what? I'm like, if I'm going to be doing this, like it doesn't hurt me to start document it, you know? And I started with, I built Rusty Wheel Ranch, just a page. And I didn't know where it was going to go. And still to this day, to this point, I'm very open with that. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know what's next week or next year, next month. I don't care about any of that thing, you know? To me, it's mostly just the feedback that I get from people, and that it's like, hey man, how are you doing this? I'm so excited to see this. You know, keep up the good work. Keep up the storytelling. And to me, that's one of the biggest things. Like, I guess it keeps me going. But I also say is like, if internet or Instagram just drops dead right now, I'm still gonna be doing what I'm doing now. I'm still gonna be doing the tractors, the trucks, the horses. Like, doesn't disappear. Let me put it that way. It's just, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing just because I'm passionate about it. Now, sure, like now today's world, so easy to just post something on the internet on your phone. But again, the biggest thing is just the feedback and the community that I have met through this journey. I have met yourself. Here we are, you know, I have met so many cool people, talented people, some people that have taught me a lot in the ranching world with horses. Like the reason I have my horses here too is just because a follower became a friend, you know, and now we're literally close friends that I could call every day and, hey, how's it going, you know? So to me, it's like, it's a tool. If you use it right, it's an amazing tool for you to get to know people.
Yeah. All right, Fernando, let's take a quick break,
Yeah.
and we'll be back in a second. After our break, so where were we? We were talking about getting started on the ranch here and kind of developing the land. What are some of the biggest struggles or hardest times? Is there any, you know, time you've had so far in building this ranch where you thought about giving up, or, you know, kind of lost hope or were uncertain about the future?
No, that's absolutely. Yeah, I think there's always times that does cross your mind, right? But again, this is something that I wanted deeply. I wanted to grow and make something here just for my own personal growth and my family, and just give them something on the for the more generations to come, right? So of course it's going to be hardships and hard times and everything. There's been times, and nothing in specific, but there's times where I kind of like rewind myself because it's a lot of work and I'm just a one-man show here. And I'm like, no, this is exactly what you wanted. Like, turning back, that's out of the question. Like, there's no way. Like, if it's hard, at the end of the day, whether it's hard or easy and smiles, like, this is exactly what you signed up for, and you're gonna make this work. So you better figure it out, because there's not a team of guys outside waiting for me to tell them directions and go and feed cows or go and do anything. Like, it's just me, like, you know? So it's just me at the end of the day. So again, failure is really not an option. So one of the biggest things here, especially in Arizona, that anybody that's Arizona native or has visited Arizona, it gets freaking insanely hot. And for me, again, not having a well yet, I have to haul a lot of water. So that in itself, it gets tedious. It's a lot of hard work, just hauling water just for the animals, right? So there is times, and just as any rancher knows, anything like that, death is around. Like, and with animals, sickness, weakness, predators, anything like that. Like, for example, like as of recent right now, I'm 90% sure there's a mountain lion out here that's been thinning out my herd on sheep. And I'm trying to document that. And again, I never dealt really with mountain lions before. So that's a learning curve for me. I know they're there. I have tried to scout with my horses, ATVs and stuff like that. I just, the signs are there. It's just, I haven't physically caught it yet, right? So that's something that anybody that tells you any different, that you know, like ranching is going to be glamorous and fun and just all jolly and you're going to have bonfires with a guitar every night, it's not the case, right? Like, there's going to be times where you come in here and there's a dead horse, or there's a dead cow, a horse that colic, or they're animals. There's going to be accidents. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't realize that, and you have to learn to stomach. Also too, like, for me, ranching wise, like, this is not a big operation by all means. This is just a one-man show type of deal. And I'm not supplying beef to counties or countries or anything like that. It's just for myself, and supply beef for my own family, just for us to have the beef itself. So with that being said, it's like, you got to learn to butcher. You have to learn to be able to take a life, in a sense, and then know that what the life meant and how much work you put for that to get to that stage, and also show gratitude, right? Because anybody could go and buy a hamburger right now and they don't know where it comes from, you know? Me, I was like, I saw that little steer grow up, bottle fed it, you know? Like, so you have to be able to disconnect yourself with that. And I think that's something that anybody that's trying to do the ranching, even small time or big time, like, they have to know that, you know? And I think that's one of the biggest battles, I guess, you know, at the end of the day, that you don't really put into perspective until it's there.
Yeah. Do you also feel that doing that, there's that respect for nature and kind of, does that, I don't know, how religious does that put you more in touch with God and, you know, and just like the real circle of life here?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, it definitely brings you closer to anything, like anything of that aspect, right? So again, it's a life. At the end of the day, it's you have to respect it. And I was hunting before this, so I'm a big avid hunter. So I shot many deer, and always, like, it brings me humbleness. You know, I'm like, man, like, I pay respect. Like, this is, like, I took a life. You're gonna feed my family. Like, so yes, like, I guess to answer your question, it's like, I 100% respect it, and it brings you closer to life itself.
Yeah.
You know,
kind of going into those difficult situations. I know you and I had been talking recently, and I was actually here been thrown in the middle of one of these two things.
Yeah.
But I know one of the stories you had told me the other night was with the rattlesnake and one of your, I believe is one of your cows, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually happened last year. I came in early morning just to feed the horses and whatnot, and then there was a cow just laying on the ground. And to me, I was like, that. And you could obviously right away, as soon as you see an animal, you could tell it's not just sunbathing. Like, there's something definitely wrong with it. And I got closer and closer and closer, and you could tell she was pretty much on its last breath. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And I'm like, man, everything else looks healthy. What is this? And then sure enough, on her face, you can see the fangs and just face swollen. And if you've seen an animal get bit by a rattlesnake, you could, like, right away, it's a dead giveaway. So she was struggling to breathe. She was struggling to even get up. Like, it was nasty, a nasty bite. So that in itself, I'm like, well, I'm not, easiest way is just, all right, so thank you. And it's dead. But I was by myself, and I think it ended up being last August, and it was super hot, like again, super brutal hot. So I ended up trying by myself, tipping it back in its on its legs. And again, if a cow that's down, anybody that knows, like once a cow goes down, if you don't get it up, it's gonna die right there. Like, you know, that's with any cows. Like as soon as they go down, they fall there. I don't know what it is, but that's its resting place. So I wanted to avoid that. So I flipped it, and again, it's super hot. So I never experienced myself anything with it like this before. So my instinct's like, she's dehydrated and she wasn't drinking water. So I brought a bucket with a little water pump and a hose and shoved it on its throat and pumped water in it. And as soon as you could tell, like little by little, its life was coming up. And I'm like, okay, good. And then I spilled water on her, and all of a sudden it was like a switch. Like she decided to go up, and again, she's weak at this point. And I just remember grabbing from the back, and I tried to push as hard as I could just to help her assist to getting up. And once she was there, she was good. So she went straight to the water, started drinking, started eating, but she was super weak. Every morning for a week, every time I came in, I had to assist her getting up. You know, I had to help her up. Like, and a cow, it's not like a cat. Like, it's not like a little lap dog. So it was there, but she's out here right now and still living. So that was definitely it was a good experience, but a bad experience at the same time. But you have to be ready to react right there and there. It might not have been the right way for me or anybody to do it. That's just, you have to work with what you have, and that's the only thing that I could do at the time.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of, you know, if people don't know, or just like, you know, the responsibility as a rancher is, you know, is almost first and foremost to it's like, you know, just as you as a father is to your children, you know, and how much that you really put in there to be a caregiver for these animals as well.
Oh yeah. No.
So, all right. How has building and running this ranch changed you as a man, as a father, and as someone carrying forward Western traditions?
I guess.
What's different about the Fernando that's sitting in front of us right now from the Fernando that was riding motorcycles? Having been through what we just talked about, you know, that it's got to do something to you.
No, absolutely. I guess I never really thought about it, but if I was to see myself in my 20s, definitely more patient with anything just in life. Good things take time. So definitely patient and more mellow. I'm a lot more mellow now, that's for sure. And again, I think it comes down to just being patient. You spend time here on a horse, on cattle, just by yourself. It kind of, you're with your thoughts. So you reflect a lot on what you used to be and who you're trying to be. So it definitely teaches you. Again, personally, it taught me a lot about myself, what I'm capable, and in a good way, and definitely in a good way. Like I said, I'm definitely not the same man I was when I was in my 20s. That's for sure. But again, it's a timeline that I think every man should experience. You know, now with my family, I love to see them here, building with me. Again, my daughters, being able to give them horses that they could ride and learn, and in a sense, seeing them, like especially two girls, like seeing them find themselves, like the confidence. Just, I mean, an 8-year-old that's literally controlling a 1,300-pound animal, and she's just right there with a big smile and doing it, like fearless. And to me, that's worth, holy crap, that's worth a lot, right? So, I got, sorry. Well, cut this, please. That's the biggest goal for me.
Yeah.
Man, you want it real. That is real. Let me wipe my face real quick.
Yeah.
Man, me when it comes to my kids, man.
What are you kind of feeling right now?
Proud, you know, just
Yeah.
proud that I'm able to give them this lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta rewind again, so.
Hey, this is seriously though. I think this is important for what
Yeah.
what we're doing here.
Man, you came out of fucking nowhere. Well, again, that's the biggest thing for me with my kids. Just being able to give them this. you
Yeah.
know, just that freedom.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. All right. I was definitely gonna look like I'm crying, man, to the whole fucking scene.
I think you should keep it in there. I think you should kind of collect your thoughts. I think you should
Yeah.
keep talking about it, and just like we'll cut this kind of
No, yeah,
a little bit
the-
here.
the
But I think when
in-betweens, the
when you
intermediate.
start, I think it's important for you.
Well, I'm not ashamed of it,
No,
like I
no,
said,
no, no.
yeah.
But just like documenting this, that's something that like your daughters can come back into
Yeah.
and watch and kind of be able to talk to them
Yeah,
and
no.
know how much of your heart and soul is in
Yeah.
this for them.
Yeah, no. As far as, like I said, I'm not. Shoot, if I wasn't comfortable, I wouldn't be doing it, right? So,
Yeah.
no, it's just.
So let's.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
All right. So yeah, just keep.
Yeah, no. So that's the biggest thing. Again, as you saw, like, it means a lot to me. Like having my kids and family here, alongside. Like to me, that's the biggest paycheck. And at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not. This is. In a sense, I'm building something, but at the end, you have to see what you're building it for. Mm-hmm. And like I told you earlier, like seeing my daughters enjoy it, every aspect of it, all this, like through the last fence post, to the fast, to the first cattle being born, like the first calf being born here, all that, like to me, it's definitely a good goal, you know. And again, it brings me back to the whole, like we're talking about taking life and God and everything like that. It's like, this is it, like, you know, I mean, this is, in a sense, my church, like, you know, so
Yeah.
I come here and this is what I'm proud of. And again, seeing my daughters and my family just being here with my wife and everything, it's like, you can't put a price on that. Like, you honestly can't, you know, and that is the end goal for me. Just, if I'm gone, which we all are, if I'm gone one day, like, they'll look back to this, they'll look back to the brand, like the hot iron and everything. It's like, oh man, dad or grandpa, whoever, like, he built something here. Like, that was cool, you know? And to me, that's worth a lot more than anything else that comes with this, right? So that's the biggest, that's, I guess, what pulls my strings the most. Like,
Yeah.
just building a legacy to give out that it's gonna keep going, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't know you when you were younger, but just hearing your stories and what you had growing up, and you had a lot of this, right? Because of your dad and your uncle, at least earlier in your life.
Yeah.
And I personally think you're an amazing guy and a strong man, and where did that come from? And there's probably a lot of that that came from from how you were raised,
Yeah.
because we're all born innocent, and we
yeah.
go down different paths, unfortunately,
Yeah.
with different struggles. But you being able to, especially in today's modern age, with the internet and phones and social media, I worry for our children's futures,
Oh, trust me, I
sometimes
know.
but for you to be able to build a place where they can, and you can kind of raise them around and kind of teach them those things. I mean, and even caring for the animals and them learning how to ride, and like what you're doing for their future, and shaping who they're going to grow up to be, I think is
Yeah.
a lot of what you're trying to do here, right?
Oh yeah, no, actually. And like I said, I tell people, close friends, and I was like, if my grandpa and my dad were here, and my dad at his prime, and I was here at this age, like, the amount of this ranch would be 1,000 times different, insane. Like, if we were to get all 3 generations together, just together, just to work as one, it would be insane. And just because I saw what my grandpa built back in the day and with his five kids, and now what, again, to have that knowledge and have that power and thrive to have it here. Like, again, I'm a one-man show here, so it will definitely be freaking amazing. So with that being said, like being raised tough and everything like that, like my dad was very like in a good way, very educational. Like he was a man's man. Like to me, if you tell me who's the toughest guy, of course, it was him. Like I've seen him mount lions, bucking horses, bull riding, like mules, like the whole everything. If he has social media now and he was on his prime, he'll be a lot cooler than I am. Let me put it that way. And I'm not even that cool. But so yeah, he taught me. I spent a lot of time on the saddle with him as a kid. And I remember this, like memories wise, I remember that a lot. And I was very open with him. Like I would ask questions, like 100%, like, hey, how come that cow's doing this? Or how come, what's this? What's that? Like, because I spent hours behind that saddle, hours with him. So, and one thing that I respected him a lot for is that he never sugarcoated it. Like if it was legitimately tough or a tough conversation, he always was upfront. Like he never tried to sugarcoat it to make me feel comfortable. He's like, this is life, this is what happened, and not in a sense get used to it, but we can't help it. That is life. And I take, like, I'm proud for that, because again, like you were saying, today's world, like we try to shield our little ones so much to protect them from anything that sometimes we don't know when to disconnect, and we don't always like, no, this is life, or sorry, hide behind your iPad and your phone, and this is jolly. Like keep it up, and that shapes people, right? So again, with my grandpa, with my dad, like thankfully I had two, and my uncles, of course, too. I was surrounded by very strong men, and in a sense, I mean by that, like strong men, like they were shaped through their hardships. So that taught me, in a sense, to be tough. You had to. So that's one of the biggest things. Like I guess I enjoy, in a sense,
Yeah.
that I was grateful for and thankful for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's take a break.
Yeah. No, heck yeah. Well, there.
All right, we're back from the break here. Where were we leaving off here? What does a real sunrise to sunset day look like for you here at Rusty Wheel Ranch? Now, what parts of the daily rhythm connect you most deeply to the heritage and honor of the Western way of life?
So, as anybody knows, drinking a coffee, seeing the sunrise in Arizona or the sunset, that is the West. That is definitely the West. There's no way to explain it really, but once you see it and enjoy it, it's like there's nothing else like it. And again, out here, I'm thankful that I get some pretty epic freaking sunrises and sunsets, that's for sure. So for me, again, waking up in the morning, we all wake up together about the same time, pack for school, pack for everything, and coffee's already brewed and stuff like that. So, we part ways, and I come to the ranch early morning and feed horses, feed the cattle, see just where everything's at, and just sit back. And again, it's 5 minutes, right? For me, 5 minutes. So just sitting down on a little wood bench outside, drinking a coffee, seeing the morning, that's worth it. And then after that, as you know, like I'm not 100% just the ranching world. One day I would love to be 100%, but right now, just the way that things work in life, I still have a regular job, construction, stuff like that, But thankfully for that, and I've been doing that for 12 years, the same company, and I'm thankful for that in a sense, because it has allowed me it gives me freedom, and it gives me the schedule that I want and I need to make this happen. And so go through there, make sure everything's taken care of, and then come back and again, do it all over again. Get a bite to eat, come here, feed the cows, go ride, go do anything any mending that needs mending, like it's taken care of. So it's definitely a full day, And then I usually leave the last few hours of the day once the sun goes down, and that's 100% phones down, and it's family time, like, or it's dinner or supper or whatever, anything like that. So, and that's for the most part every day. And again, since we started the ranch, it's not one day is the same, and I love that. Like, not one day is the same. It's not repetitive. It's not. There's always something going on. There's always something here happening. There's something different that needs to work or stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing. Like, to me, starting the ranch again, if we rewind a bit back from our conversation, it's I don't like routine, and this is not it to me. Like, there's definitely every day is different, and I love that. Like, again, that's what keeps me going. Like, tomorrow morning is going to be way different than today. You know, same thing yesterday was a lot different than today. So that keeps me going a lot. So that's where it's at.
Yeah. Can you share one of your favorite quiet moments, family traditions, or stories from the ranch that still makes you smile and remind you why you love this life?
Oh yeah, no. So I got many. There's a lot. Personal one, it's for me, just on my own personal self, is again sitting down there either with a cold beer or a coffee, and just being able to see what is being built, like, from where it was to where it's at now. And again, it's still a long ways to go. It's tons of work, but it's not picture perfect. But just rewinding back and saying, like, man, you made this. Like, to me, it's just a quiet moment that it's my personal thing. Now, with family and stuff like that, I mean, there's so many things here that are, like, you know, that are so many memories now that we have built just on such short amount of time. Like, one of my first dogs, like, it was 15. She's just buried on right here. Yeah, you know, so there's plenty of memories with her, stuff like that. Like the tractor, the Craftsman tractor, there's, at that point, I mean, 6-year-old daughters riding them around here in the desert, you know, having a blast just by herself on a little tractor. Like, that's a good core memory that I have. So there's tons of them. Like, to really, really point one, I mean, I have to go through internal mental files, but there's a few of them that stand out, and those are
Yeah.
it.
I think that's what's special about this place and what you've built here, that there's literally too many of those memories. Because, you know, sometimes back in the real world, off the ranch, you know, we don't, there's not as many of those.
No,
as you can have out here.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the ranch that you've built so far? That you're most proud of?
Well, where we're standing here, this cabin, it's nowhere near perfect, still not finished, but it's a pretty cool little spot for me to just come hang out here, drink a beer, smoke a cigar, stuff like that, right? So, so I enjoy everything because everything has its own story. But I guess the biggest thing would be just the stalls for the horses. Because that was one thing, I'm like, man, I'm not ready for horses. I want horses, but I did too much work and what there is, you know, it's like, there's just so much that goes into having a horse. But once I decided to build a stall, like, now there's animals here and they're thriving and they're healthy. And to me, that's the biggest thing, right? So I guess if I was to really point something that I'm proud of, it will be definitely the ability to bring horses here. So it's not necessarily something manual, like, you know, but it's just being able to be here with horses. That, to me, that's the biggest thing I have built.
Yeah. Kind of getting toward the end here. What does the real American dream look like to you? Not the polished version, but the honest one.
I guess you're looking at it, right? Like, to me, and I don't know how to word it, but to me, this is it. Like, if I could do this, again, if I could do this from the morning where I wake up to the time I go to bed, that's all I really need. Like, you know, just the freedom, again, to be able to saddle up a horse right now and just hit outside my fence line and hit endless acres and miles of just beautiful landscape and just know that it's there. That, to me, it's the American dream, right? Like, it's working hard and working for something that you're passionate about, and that's really what I'm trying to build here.
Yeah. And what did it take you to get here?
As far as
Just so people can you know, even for me, I'm still working towards my
Yeah.
piece of land and getting to this point as well. But just kind of, you know, we've talked a lot about before, you know,
Yeah.
people might see where you're at now, but
Yeah.
you know what it took to get here. Just for anyone else that, you know, like me, has
Yeah.
the ambitions, you know, the end of the road always looks nice on
yeah.
social media, but just for people to understand, you know, what it takes to.
Oh no, yeah. Um, and I mean, this is everybody knows this or has heard this, right? But if you're waiting to be ready, you're never gonna be ready. So just make it happen. And it's again, like I told you earlier, it's like failure for me is not an option. Like we're here. This is gonna work, and we're gonna make it work. So yeah, no, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, get to anybody that wants to do it themselves. Don't wait for the right stars to align. Don't do it anything, and give it your all. Like, that's 100%. Give it your all. For me to get here to this point, it's endless hours and hours and hours and hours of just day and night, rain, shine, hot, cold, and through the best and worst. Like you said, like on social media, it looks perfect and pretty on the sunsets, but they don't know that early that morning you were shoveling horse manure, right? And to me, it's like, find romance in everything of that. Like if you're shoveling horse crap, be thankful that you have a horse to shovel crap with. Like, you know, like to me, that's the biggest thing. Like, just every little thing. Like, don't break easy. Like, don't just give up and say, oh, sorry, this is not for me, or this is not gonna work. Like, it's gonna be tough. More tough than more. There's more toughness and hard times than there is pleasure. But when that pleasure happens, just enjoy it and embrace the suck, right? That's the biggest thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth it at the end
Oh,
of the day.
shoot. Yeah. I tell friends, I'm like, when they're like, hey, what do you think if I should buy land? Like, go for it. You will not regret it. You will never, ever regret. It doesn't have to be 1,000 acres. Just anything that you could claim on your own and do what you want to do here. Don't do it. Don't hesitate, and you will sleep like a baby the same day. Like, you know, that's the biggest thing. Like, there's not one day I regret. Like, holy crap, I can't believe I bought this. What am I getting myself into? You know? No, like I enjoy everything of it. So anybody that's trying to do it, I say do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's I think the most glorious things in life are the hardest things to go through, but you know, being okay that knowing you're going to make it through and putting in the work and putting in the time is definitely how you're going to get to the end.
No, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
What are your future plans for the ranch? What are your dreams? You know, because I think there's one thing, the American dream is not a end point, it's a journey.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
what's next?
The biggest step next, again, it's just I'm working on clearing a lot of land. Well, not a lot, but enough, a good little footpath for, we want to build a house here, like technically our like forever home. You know, that way the kids and everything, my wife and everybody here to grow. And that's the biggest thing. Like I said, that's the next step. Just little by little trying to figure out and work towards that goal of bringing an actual legit brick and mortar house here for us to just enjoy it. And no matter what time of day it is, we're here, and just the process of building it too. Like, we just don't want to flip a switch and say, okay, here, build us a house. Like, we want to do the whole everything. Like, you know, sure, it's going to take longer. It's going to take longer, and sometimes I wish it was just right there, just like that, snap of the fingers. But again, I want to embrace everything about it. So the biggest goal here for us coming up is building a house, and then of course just grow in general with whether it's livestock, horses, stuff like that. Just that's the biggest thing. Just enjoy it and be able to just go outside and do as you wish, in a sense.
Awesome. All right. Well, Fernando, is there any parting messages you wanna tell to our audience? Any life advice? Tell people where they can find you and follow you, where they can connect with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, I don't do much of the social media besides Instagram. So Rusty Wheel Ranch and social media. And then as far as the message, it's like, don't be afraid, man. Like, it's, you know, keep doing what you're doing, or work towards something that's worth a while. And then as you guys know, like yourselves and everybody that's been here at this ranch, like, everybody has a table on my ranch. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. let's real quick, it's probably one of the most important things we should bring up, because it's I think one of your coolest messages. It's kind of like your motto.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
why don't you kind of dive into that real quick as we
Everybody has a chair or table.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's always. I didn't create that saying, but that's something that I really am passionate about. Like, again, if on today's world, there's so many people, there's so many connections. Like there's people that I'm friends with across the globe that I never met, but to me, it's like they're so cool people that I want them to know that if they ever make it to this side or they ever make it to Arizona, like, you're welcome here. Like, and again, just from so many different aspects of people that I have met, that you don't have to be a cowboy. Shoot, I'm barely a cowboy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like anybody, as long as you're genuine, you gotta share my table. Like, and that in a sense, to me, with that ability of like that saying, I have met a lot of cool people, and I want to continue that. And I always said to everybody that has come here, I'm like, you have a chair at my table, man. Like, so that's where it comes from. And I haven't regretted it so far, so it's good. And yeah, that's I guess, I don't know, that's literally it. Like, everybody's welcome here,
Yeah.
And it's not much, but it's yours. Like, here it is, enjoy it with me. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, Fernando, I appreciate you letting me come to have a seat at your table.
Yeah.
And looking forward to a lot of the things we have planned. And you've become a really good friend so far. And looking forward to seeing the ranch grow and spending a lot of time here and hanging out. So I appreciate you being the first person in the #1 episode. To kick the series off of really sharing the real grit behind this industry and telling stories about people's legacies. So
no, absolutely, a pleasure. Like I said, thanks for coming, and again, we'll one of many.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Yeah, heck yeah.